Well, 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 well,
Wow.
Coprolalia, motherfuckers.
That was beautiful.
The podcast that says, I'll bloody give it to you. So I had something prepared and then I couldn't remember what it was. So that's what we went with.
You were overcome.
I'm Rye, aka Wrath.
I'm Giles.
And we're a couple of artsy-fartsy boys making your favorite drawings on Instagram and other places.
Yeah.
And we also record this podcast every goddamn week.
Yep.
We talk about all kinds of random shit, and we do little to no preparation.
Well, we have come all the way to the Great Pyramids in Giza.
Which was a lot easier than you'd think. We just said we would be there, and we were there. Because we're magical, mystical beings of greatness.
Yes. And we're sitting, we each have our own pyramid point. I'm on the pyramid of Khufu, and Rai is on the pyramid of Khafra. And I know what you might be thinking. The two pyramids are like 500 meters apart. Well, it is a very clear day.
And you know when the
It's
sky
a
is
very clear day.
and you know when the sky is blue, your voice runs true.
Yeah, I can hear him perfectly, and without the typical delay that 500 meters would usually account for.
If I close my eyes, I really can't tell if we're sitting on the Great Pyramids of Giza or I'm cuddled up to Giles on a pillow and we're having a little bit of pillow talk. I can't tell the goddamn difference. That's how good it is. That's how blue it is out here in the great big desert. I'm going to have another little sip of coffee.
Big desert.
Big desert. Is it the biggest desert, though?
No, I think Australia has the biggest desert, the Simpson Desert.
That's a big desert.
I'm gonna quickly Google that.
Fact check that.
Largest desert. It says here it's a Banana Sunday. Jesus.
That was...
Alright, so it turns out I'm fucking totally wrong. It's the Sahara Desert.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
it's definitely not Australia.
Australia has the biggest cultural desert, though.
Ooh.
It's a vast wasteland of nothing.
Where's the air horn for that one?
No, we'll just get one of these.
Wow.
We managed to destroy every fucking last bit of culture on this goddamn island.
Yeah, and we even went to Egypt and destroyed Egyptian culture too.
Did we now?
During World War One. Yeah, we used to us and the English would use the Sphinx as target practice, and the pyramids. We'd just shoot them.
Jesus, seriously?
We riddled the Sphinx's face full of bullets. I'll Google it.
Fucking hell.
Sphinx.
I don't know much about World War One. I guess I should play the latest Call of Duty. That'll set me straight.
Totally.
Is that Call of Duty set in World War One? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Or is that World War Two?
There's a number of Call of Duty set in World War One.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, like some of the first ones were in World War One, and now we've got Call of Duty World War Two at the moment, which is. Oh no! Well, it was Battlefield. Was World War One, wasn't it? Recently? Battlefield 1.
There's a lot of Battlefield games.
Yeah, like the most recent one. Oh, there's a new one coming out called Battlefield.
Okay, yeah, Battlefield. Was it called 1 or something like that?
I think it was. Let me find out.
Which is so dumb.
Battlefield 1.
Stupid. It's not even close to being the first.
It's set in World War One, I think.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. There's a new Battlefield. There's a new thing coming out called Apocalypse. I don't know what it is. What is it? Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna fucking talk about Battlefield and shit like that. It was just a stupid throwaway joke, and now I'm gonna throw away the fucking discussion.
Very good.
That said, okay, actually, let's talk about this, because I was talking to you about it earlier, and I might as well just talk about it on the podcast, because this is a good place to do it. So I'm looking about updating my Patreon with some more bonuses, including a bonus cartoon and some other some shit, some live streaming, some extra content for Coprolalia, or extra access to Coprolalia, stuff of that nature. It's all very bloody exciting, let me tell you. But it got me thinking about because I prefer not to put anything behind a paywall. However, it works for a lot of people putting things behind a paywall, doing like subscription-based services. My favorite creators tend not to. Probably my favorite guy on Patreon is Jim Sterling, and he just gives it all away for free and says, "Hey, I'm doing it anyway. If you support the show, then fucking sick one, mate." But you don't have to. You get the show anyway, and I don't donate because I don't have any bloody money.
Yeah, I really don't feel like we're the demographic for... We're the kind of people who receive Patreon money, not really shell out everything we have for Patreon. We just don't have money.
No, we don't.
That's number one.
But it got me thinking about these two schools of thought that come up a lot in artistic endeavors of like the idea of as soon as you make money, as soon as you even think about trying to make money, like that's a goal for you, then you're selling out.
Yeah. I've changed my stance a little bit.
Sorry, I'm a thirsty boy.
Yeah,
that's one school of thought, and I've heard it a lot, and it definitely comes up a lot more probably online from fans of content online, because they're getting so much content for free. So as soon as you try and make money, they see that as like, oh, you're just selling out. Like, all these guys are doing it for free, so why aren't you doing it? Which is, of course, totally absurd if you want people to actually pour in their heart and soul, and more importantly, the amount of time it takes to make stuff. But then there's also another school of thought that I've encountered a lot more from perhaps working musicians that I've known and stuff like that, who are like, no, you just don't do shit for free. You get paid or you don't do it. And I guess that makes sense if you're a wedding band, or if you're an illustrator that solely does illustrations for magazines and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, like sorry. What are your thoughts?
my definitive thoughts on these ponderings are that I am saddened when something truly great doesn't get made because of a process of compromise that the artist goes through in order to make something more marketable or less edgy, because they don't want to offend. And it'll always make me mad. I won't always hate everyone who wants or needs money. I think that's a waste of time. I won't even hate someone whose aspirations are to make money with what they do. I just think some of the greatest shit that's ever existed was an honest and genuine output, and was not the product of a focus group.
Yeah.
And I hope we don't ever lose sight of that.
I guess it's just the idea that while we still live in a capitalist society, and not just to say it's the capitalism's fault, but
the dogs are gonna eat the other dogs. that is the society we live in.
It breeds competition between artists, and there's a difference between healthy competition and cutthroat competition that exists in what you'd call the marketplace.
Yeah, healthy competition. An example of healthy competition is, actually, technically, it was a little bit unhealthy. It's the Beach Boys, or like more specifically Brian Wilson, listening to Revolver by the Beatles, and then Rubber Soul, being so utterly flattered by it that he felt pushed to make Pet Sounds, which completely blew away Paul McCartney and John Lennon, who then felt inspired to go make Sgt. Pepper's. That's competition, but creative competition. That's not like I'm going to sell more records than them. It's oh wow, look how far he pushed composition. I would like to push myself to do something similar. That's what I would consider sort of the better types of competition.
One direction it can go in, which I think is probably when you start to get into when corporations get a hold of it, when profits take over. That's the main thing. When profits take over, and when things get compromised based on the profits needed, or not needed, desired. I think that's a big difference. So, I would say from my perspective, in my situation, all I'm trying to do is I want to eventually get to a point when I can just make enough money so I can support what I'm doing and pour as much time into it as possible.
That's a very modest goal, and I think people should be allowed to have that to support themselves, to continue producing. That's base level modest aspiration.
Yeah, but it does get to a point. So that's small time creator doing very small scale projects. Not small scale in terms of work, like how much work has to go into it, but in comparison to a large production company, what you can actually do. Then I've just been thinking a lot recently about. So this is just taking it into corporation's way of thinking of it now, of the opposite. This is ultimate selling out, because we'd like to think that a big blockbuster film has artistry in it. We'd like to think a big AAA game has artistry in it. But a company like EA has clearly shown...
Yeah, they've shit all over the formula.
Yeah. Profits are obviously absolutely number one. And I get that, when you push it to a certain point, when you spend $200 million, and this is this rough estimate of how much a game costs. I can't remember where I saw it. Doesn't matter.
No, the most expensive one, GTA 4 when it came out cost $100 million, and that was one of the most expensive games ever made, or if not the most expensive game ever made.
Right. Okay. So it makes the most expensive game ever made. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 cost $50 million. There's more than that. Hang on. Okay, this is a good list. This is a great list for me to read. Jesus Christ. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, $50 million to make. 200
marketing was huge. Yeah,
200 million was for marketing. That's insane.
Oh wow, I didn't realize. Wow, that's just that wrecks me.
Okay, so plus inflation, so that's 285 million. What else? Grand Theft Auto 5, 278 million.
Marketing or
that's everything. That's overall.
Okay, all right, yeah. Wow.
So those are the big boys. And then you'd also have like, okay, World of Warcraft was 50. But that's a weird one to look at because that's an ongoing cost. Anyway, point is though, so big giant game companies spending ridiculous amounts of money on building a game, making a game, and apparently it seems a lot more on marketing it. And then they say, oh, we have to put in microtransactions, and we have to put in DLC, and we have to put in what do you call them, like season passes and all this other shit in order to make our money back.
Yeah.
And that just kind of illustrates a point about when you say you want to make money, or when you say like how much money has to be made off your art. And these are very different circumstances, going from like a personal creator to a giant AAA title. But the idea of how much money you're supposed to make seems just totally... And this is a very capitalist way of thinking, I guess. But yeah, it's just so completely absurd to me. I'm trying to think of how to put this. I think you understand.
It's like gambling in some ways.
Mm.
It's like, here, I'll put $50 on that so I get a payout of $200.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the business is saying anyway. Like, the artist goes, fuck yeah, I get to make my game.
Yeah.
The business side of it is we need a payoff, or else we don't ever want to give you money again.
Well, that's the thing. Is I guess what I'm saying is, again, let's move away from AAA and big budget blockbuster. Blah, can't talk today. Big budget bullshit. Just talking on smaller scale, like a band or a small indie developer of a game, or a cartoonist or a writer or whatever. Yeah, if you need to make just enough money to cover your costs, including living through that time, and cover the cost of making the thing, that's success. I don't think being a bestseller, yeah, sure, you make a shitload of money, but like...
Okay, well, actually, I'm down for a conversation about what success is. Because I would say that a word that I've just recently sort of come into contact with is zeitgeist. Mm-hmm. Have you encountered that before?
Yes, as titles for a series of videos I watched. But yeah, zeitgeist.
Okay, well, zeitgeist is the feel of the time that you're in.
Yeah.
And so this encompasses basically the culture of your time period, or the time period you're thinking of. Mm-hmm. This includes like deeds that were happening, music movements, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think one of the highest levels of success would be to be a part of the zeitgeist, but in a large way, not just a small way.
Yeah.
Even as much as directing future content or culture. So I would consider Star Wars to be an incredibly successful show, and this is removing any concept of the monetary value of it. Like it affected sci-fi from the point it was released just onwards.
Yeah.
It affected, like, I'm sure the movie industry was affected in a huge way because it became worse. Merchandising became worse.
Yeah.
Even Star Wars became worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know whose fault that is.
I think that's just human greed, just in general. Does that?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
human greed can be taught otherwise, though, right? Like, I think the people who make it into those positions, who ruin Star Wars, run EA, or fuck up your favorite band by just making them all poppy and happy and sellable. Those people are not. I assume they're not going to be your average. They're not going to be the guy sitting with the band, smoking weed 10 years beforehand, just try and make punk rock or whatever, right? Like they grew up,
Yeah.
they had this different mindset taught to them by other businessmen and other ways of, and sorry, I'm finding it hard to illustrate my points today, but you can teach these people think about greed as a level. That's their success. Is having the most and proving that you're the best businessman or you've got the most money or you got the most power. It's a very
for an aspiring businessman, it is to have investments and to have them pay off. And yeah. See, I think it's time to accept that some people don't think that way and some people do, and to not try and push all of us into the same categories. Like, if the world was separated into, I might be like causing like a hypocrisy right now, even with what I'm saying, but even if like some people organize themselves into investors and businessmen, others into artists, and maybe others who just say fuck it all and they're just consumers of the product of business and artist or creator. Like that seems to be like a pretty comfortable place for anyone. Everyone's got their spot.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm saying this. Talking about success. That just if somehow school allowed us to define what we would consider to be a successful version of ourselves, then just gave us the avenue to pursue that would be a healthy outcome. But it seems like we're sort of pushed into this, like, make more money than this guy, or else no one's gonna love you, kind of avenue.
Yeah.
I know a lot of poor people who are much more loved than you'd expect.
Yeah. There's I would say it definitely all stems from that. Not all. There's lots of different forces at work in how we shape young people and what they want to do and how they think about the world. So a lot of it comes from school, a lot of it comes from the TV and newspapers, and a lot of it comes from parents and the hardships they've gone through. But taking so there has to be a change in the vision of success. Yeah, to have a disconnect from monetary value, because things like teachers and builders and doctors are looked up to slightly because people associate doctors with having a high paycheck, I feel.
Right.
But I don't think it's looked up to as much based on you're helping people, you're fixing people who are technically their body's failing and you fix it. And teachers are molding the future generations. Like that's success. Is just teaching young kids.
A positive effect, yes, yeah. And when I said success earlier, I meant an artist's success.
Yeah,
or at least,
for sure.
Because like I was saying, there is success depending on whether you actually want to achieve a certain thing. As a teacher though, a successful teacher would be one that has uplifted their students and helps them to be fully equipped to pursue their version of success.
Yeah.
And a doctor's would be not to cure everybody. Maybe that's their goal.
Just help as many people as they can, I guess.
Just to get a really hot wife, trophy wife, and just have all your kids do really well in school, and I don't know. Mostly the hot wife, though.
Just slight apology to anyone listening that there is a little bit of technical glitch. with
Oh, no.
with Giles' voice there.
Damn it.
I've understood everything you've said, but there's been a couple of little hiccups here and there that have just been slightly
Did you
distracting.
hear me say hot wife?
Oh, I heard that. I've heard everything.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's all I really wanted to say. So.
All right, well, let's swing it back to the success as an artist then, because that was I had a point I wanted to make about that as well. Slightly different to what we're talking about in a way, but
let's find something we disagree on. Like, let's talk about what you want to talk about, but we should disagree on something. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, there's far too much friendly agreement on this show.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, first of all, what I was just going to say is the idea of success is very different for a lot of people, and in music especially, or just a creative field. If you're so you said how being a zeitgeist, right, or being part of the zeitgeist, sorry.
Yeah,
and being a huge effector of it, or what we'd call a leader. Well, there's obviously going to be a lot of other people doing the same thing or similar thing, and they won't have the same effect because they're either they came later in the game, or they
weren't as poignant.
Yeah.
Or perfectly timed. Or yeah.
Anyway, that's one thing that's come up with discussions I've had with other people. If I'll be listening to some music and they'll say, "Oh, it just sounds so like this," like perhaps it just sounds so much like the genre it's in. You know, like it's just a really, I guess you'd call it bland, or just like it's just a stereotypical version of a genre is a good one. Or perhaps as well taking older music that's already been done and just kind of rehashing it and stuff like that. And also trying to be unique. I think that's kind of where I'm getting at, is trying to be really unique, really game-changing, really just trying to be important as like almost a necessity from people's perspectives. So this will be from listeners more likely. We'll be putting that kind of idea on an artist. They'll think, oh, this artist isn't as good because they're not as game-changing, or they're not as unique. Yeah. And that one frustrates me as much as like being unique is really important. Basically, all I'm saying is that you don't have to be. You don't have to be this big thing. Yeah, you don't have to be a pioneer. A lot of people just make art and just do things because they enjoy doing it, and so that's just a success for them. All right, needlepoint. Use needlepoint as an example. Few people are making the headlines with their needlepoint art, right?
I thought maybe you meant to say needle drop, but you are talking about needlepoint.
No, needlepoint in the art form, as in you make little like cushions or something. I can't know what needlepoint.
Perfect. Finger painting is also a good example.
Yeah, exactly.
Pioneers in the finger painting art world.
You don't hear of any Kanye Wests in the finger painting world. But that's fine.
Perhaps we should look for some. Who's the Kanye West of the finger painting world?
Most famous needle point. Needle pointer? I don't know. I got the biggest needle pointers images on Pinterest.
And we'll do a shout out. Oh wow, there's some really good finger paint. But the top result on Google, which is completely unreliable as a best artist of a genre.
Yeah.
But it's fucking incredible. I'll be honest. It's a guy called Iris Scott, and
Iris Scott.
Chuck that link in the description.
Oh yeah, it's down below, little bibbies. Was it Iris?
It reminds me of like Georges Seurat.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of forget what his style is called. I think it's pointillism or or whatever. But and a little bit of Van Gogh in there. Maybe a bit of Monet as well. Do you know just every single artist is just this person?
I even see a bit of Death Grips creeping in there.
Yeah, a little bit of MC Ride film clip guillotine. I see a lot of that in his style.
Yeah, pops in on the right bottom hand corner if you're looking at that back home.
Links to guillotine as well.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just making more work for Rye at the moment.
Links to guillotine. Yeah, I don't know, and it's really good, you know. How do you spell guillotine? Play with that. That makes more sense.
G-U-I-L-L.
Figured it out.
Okay.
Teen. G-U-I-L-L. Teen.
No. Oh yes. Sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of just very humbling to just make art and make things like that for the sake of it. And I guess it's probably less common perhaps in our society.
To make it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It's because of the dog-eat-dog scenario.
Yeah.
I've often gone on rants about, you know, how the compromise that comes with having to make something marketable and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. There
is like an intrinsic honesty to when you're doing something as like an innate desire, as a thing that your body just wants to do, and to do it without like adding an ulterior motive. There's a word for it, so I'm gonna try find this word. Expedient, is that right? Yeah, to pursue art expediently, which means essentially conveniently or practically, at an almost improper or immoral way, just to achieve a thing at any cost. It completely just affects whatever you're going to be doing and whatever comes from it.
Can you reword that? I didn't.
So say you know someone in you go to a high school and a friend of yours just made $1,000 because he painted some squares, and you think, fuck, I can do that shit.
Yeah.
And then you start painting squares, and it just doesn't have any heart or soul to it, because you're just copying this thing, and at its like what you're already trying to do is so devoid of any like personality or character. You just can't expect success from that, and even if you get it, it's at the cost of like substance.
Well, that's such there's that was actually one kind of tie into what I was saying before. Is like it doesn't matter to me if you're just doing it for the sake of it. If you just hear something on the radio and you just want to recreate it for the fun of recreating it, or if you just hear the sound of the time,
for the fun of it, seems to be like a motivation that comes from the soul.
But if you expect that to work as a level to drive you to the same success in the same idea of success that the original found, that's just not going to work. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
There's a different level. There's different type of success. You can just say, hey, I just want to make that. I just want to make the same thing and make it sound cool just for myself. Then just by doing that, you've succeeded. But to do it like they did it and think that you're going to get to the same success in their eyes, not going to happen. No.
It's like say we really loved Kanye West's music, and we attempted to imitate it, and we got successful as a parody artist of Kanye West. You've still achieved something, and it's even better that it actually wasn't what you were expecting to achieve. Like that's the universe going, no, you are actually still good at this thing. It's just we aren't going to give you this because that was a crazy thing to ask for in the beginning. Like to just be alongside Kanye doing really similar music without the world thinking that that's sort of devoid of creativity or something.
There is also luck, which I don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Some people just get it. Some people just fucking
that
show up.
Luck isn't as blind as people think. It's like there's always a level of chance involved with what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you're really good at what you're doing, the chances are like 90%.
Yeah.
So if you're Kanye West and you're just starting out, there's a 20% chance that like what you're doing is going to get recognized. But if you're Kanye West and you've just done Through the Wire, like 95% chance someone's going to think that's fucking awesome, and then that's going to snowball for you. So yes, there's luck, but you can actually increase your luck by being better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like putting it, like, yeah, some people just show up. Some people just are in the right place at the right time and do the right thing.
Goddamn Jim Carrey.
But then there's also, yeah, exactly. You can only be in the right place at the right time if you're constantly putting yourself out there in places.
Yeah, you're always going to places, yeah.
Yeah. One of those places, statistically speaking, is going to be the right place for you at some point.
That's why I think your upload schedule is definitely upping your chances of hitting some sort of big time. I'm not even sure, because we're in a new industry. We don't even know what the big time is. We could begin to see Patreon. We could see Patreons getting up to the millions.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what's going to happen this new industry.
Exactly. And it's difficult, I guess, to start and to put in those hours, but it's not as mystical. I think that's the thing I always want to drive home to people. Like, I don't like the idea that, like, oh, people are just waiting for inspiration to come, or they're just a creative genius who just has these ideas. It just comes out of their head. Like, most people who do amazing shit have just been constantly doing stuff, and then the stuff that you're saying is just the best of the stuff that they were doing anyway, you know?
Yeah.
You teach yourself to just do it as a habit almost. Like people who play so a good example is my brother, who plays now he's fucked his hand up a little bit at the moment, but you know, when he was practicing it the most, and he would do like 8 hours every day.
Damn.
It seems like so much to other people, but when you compare it to something that they're doing all the time, it's like, okay, someone who plays video games all the time. If you had just taught yourself over like maybe over a couple of months or something that you were playing saxophone instead of video games, and not to say either is more important or more worth it. Like, people, if you play video games all the fucking time, then that's sweet. If you love it, then that's great. I'm not talking about work ethic or anything like that, but teaching yourself that habit that's kind of the hard part. But once you're into it, then it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
it's not a huge thing. Yeah. I'm used to putting in the work now, so I can stick to my schedule. But if I tried to do this when I was 13, wouldn't happen.
Right.
It's teaching yourself to just do it. It's just what you do. It's not this energy. It's not this fire burning within you. It's just a thing that you do. I mean, obviously there's passion and there's creative energy and there's drive to do it. But you don't just sit in a dark room full of incense and go, bam, amazing idea. And then put it on the internet.
That sounds great, though.
Yeah, if that works, then fucking sweet. Okay, people work differently as well. Some people do just smoke weed.
That's
and
how I do my shit.
Yeah, well, if it works for you.
If I'll be totally frank, I don't know if like family or anything are going to listen to this, but the other night, like I haven't been smoking a lot of weed recently, but I smoked a little bit of weed, and my brain lit up, and I started getting really awesome ideas, and I think that's a pretty symbiotic relationship. between me and the old plant.
The Kush.
Yeah. I get to end its suffering, and it gives me a fresh weird ideas.
Good. Good. I don't know where else to go from there, but good.
That's fine.
It doesn't do it for me. I struggle to concentrate. Though I haven't smoked much.
I never really feel like you've like gotten cooked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When we were hanging out at one point, we had a little bit, and then old mate came home and started talking to us for like half hour straight about World War II in great detail. That fucked my head up. It's not good. So any listeners out there, don't smoke the Kush and then look into World War II in great vivid detail.
I somewhat disagree. I mean, I was reading about the Ugandan genocide while baked the other night, and it was definitely a rabbit hole moment where I was like, God damn, too much of this shit. But like whatever weird conflict your head is going through, like weed does just create this other dimension to it, and it's not necessarily a bad dimension.
Yeah.
Like I allow things to fuck me up because if they do, like, I guess they should, or like being fucked up by it means that I've developed a tolerance for it, or whatever. I
guess it's
I like a quote that is essentially if the truth offends or hurts your feelings, then you basically deserve to have your feelings hurt or to be offended. Yeah. If it's true, then you should take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like that as well. Weed, or for me, wine. It's just a different perspective on the same thing. I guess like the idea that if you smoke weed, then you're going to be a creative genius, or like people couldn't do it without it. That's
trash.
That's absurd.
You need to be well on your way.
Yeah. But. It's like you don't have to be in a certain state, but those different states can provide great insight into what you're doing.
Yeah, it can help you through blocks as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's when people talk about like the benefits of psychedelics, they often cite that like we're not saying do this all the time. We're saying maybe have one or two trips or something like that, you know, and then you'll have this new perspective because it's just you are forced to look at things differently, and then you come back into reality, into your normal headspace, and you've seen it from a different perspective. So now you have a bit of just a more rounded picture of what's actually happening around you. It's a simple concept. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Even just going for a walk. If you're working on something, then you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Go for a walk.
Oh yeah, walks
do some acid,
are great.
Smoke some weed. Drink some wine, whatever it is. Have a chit chat to your papa who lives in.
Even better if you've like, if the walk is to the top of a hill where you then smoke weed or drink some wine. Best, top shit, good stuff.
Highly recommended. Well. We've actually come into 10 minutes. Have we got left? Let me double check what we got over here. Let me sneaky little peeky. Well, we got 15. Let's read these. We got a couple of new letters today from big old fans of the show.
Excellent.
They just keep send them in. Send
them in.
Send them in. Let me dive on in here. All right, what we got? Okay. This one's to me. Cool.
Yep.
Dear I don't exist, and was wondering if you could pretend I exist. Ideally for comedic effect. My name would be Brandon, and I'll be more of a cat person than dog person. I also have a question, something along the lines of, what is your greatest inspiration? from Brandon. Well, Brandon, who definitely exists. My greatest inspiration... Star Wars Episode 1, Scene 4. There's just the dialogue that was written for that just perfectly sums up the way I see the world these days. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, dive on in. Go and watch Scene 4 from Star Wars Episode 1 and you'll get what I'm talking about. Watch it twice. Analyze it. Look at it from different perspectives.
I recommend a few watches.
Don't watch the rest of the film. The rest of the film is just garbage. But Scene 4, watch that once, sober. Then have a glass of wine. Watch it again. Then smoke some kush. Watch it a third time. Then have a little sleepy. Wake up, do some acid. Watch it a fourth time. Fucking come down off that. Watch it one more time.
And then write a review and send it to us.
And then sit down with your daddy, your sweet daddy, and say, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You should have taught me this lesson. But I learnt it from Star Wars Episode 1, Scene 4.
Nice.
That's what I got. Alrighty.
I'm glad you're encouraging young men to sit down with their fathers and have a chat. Cause
that's my favorite thing to do with my pappy.
Nice.
He's a good boy, and we have good times.
Does he smoke the kush?
Oh yeah, we haven't smoked it together though. Maybe I'll do that next time.
That'll be a bonding thing.
Yeah, but we always get blind drunk together. Oh boy. And that's a lot of fun.
Well, our generation is probably the first to fully recognize alcohol as being the poison that it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting over it. I'm trying to drink a lot less. I had one bottle of wine over 2 days on the weekend, and that was plenty. But I used to drink every day. In fact, I don't think I was really drunk this month. Or not this month, last month. Like, properly drunk. And to be honest, that might be the first time in like 4 years that I haven't been drunk for a month. Which is terrifying. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it.
That's genuine. Because that's tough.
One thing I noticed was I think my memory is somewhat improved.
Nice.
Just my short-term memory. Like I remember names at work a lot better. Like of customers and stuff like that, which is nice. But yeah, anyway, it's just nice not being hungover all the time. Not to say that people shouldn't drink at all, because I definitely enjoyed those glasses of wine, but the amount I did drink at certain points was not good for me. No.
Earlier this month, I'll read my letter in just a moment. I've got more to elaborate. I finished a 4-liter sack of goon.
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
In 2 days.
Fucking hell. That's a lot. That's a big boy lot. That's a big boy party. That's the like some people just fucking drink shitloads.
When I drink shitloads. When I don't drink, I drink shitloads. Obviously, no, I don't drink that much, but when I do, just like that ad with the proper gentleman guy, he's like, I don't always drink whiskey, but when I do, I drink fucking way too much whiskey. That's where I was gonna go with it. When I start drinking, it just like excess is the only way for me for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had a lot of enjoyment from it, but I can't do. Obviously, health effects will come into play probably a lot later on in life. I'll start to notice, but it's hard to compare because I won't have been.
Not if you stop now-ish.
Yeah, but if I kept drinking every day for the rest of my life, then I'd probably notice some ill effects.
Yeah,
later on. But it's just a really, depending on what culture you're in, but it's pretty just generally across the board, humans love alcohol. But Australia, especially, if you're going out with your mates, it's not easy to to not drink. I mean, you can just say no. That seems like a pretty straightforward thing, but it's very entwined into our culture. Luckily, I don't go out that much. I just work on cartoons, so that's made it easier, I guess. But anyway.
Are you working this weekend?
No. I don't work on the weekend.
You work Friday, though?
Yeah. Until 12:30.
Because I was gonna say, there's more comedy on that we should go to.
Oh yeah, boy.
Let's do this after the show, though. I've got some letters to read. I've got a letter to read.
Podcast. All right.
Here we go.
Actually, I'd like to interject. If anyone listening, I don't know if there are listeners, but if there's anyone listening besides the people who send us in the letters, send us in a letter. Email me at bigpappyboy@gmail.com. Links to my actual email address will be in the description below.
Mine's a Yahoo, and it's just yahoo@yahoo.com.
Mine is myspace@gmail.com.
I don't know why that got me, but alright, here we go. Where's piece of paper so I can make it sound like
Someone left a goddamn air horn in this letter. Wow.
Dear McGilly the Willy, the breeze is quite large up here on top of the pyramids. I have some quite serious news. Alrighty. Little Rev Your Engine Reverend has really escalated his actions and has proceeded to build some sort of altar behind the schoolhouse. Excellent. Several other students have taken on personas to match his, and they are now refusing to speak to me or attend class. Sounds a bit like a cult of personality. They claim the Great Purple One is coming and will reawaken humanity. Do you know what that's about? Also, another student asks, would you like to hear about our combo meal specials, or is that all for today? That'll be all for today, I think. Cheers, Big G, Ms. Anderson. She's a dedicated follower now.
Our number one, there is no two, listener.
Yes.
That was worded poorly.
No, what about Greg?
Greg hasn't written in. He might have stopped listening. Who fucking knows?
Snobby Google employee. Alright, the Great Purple One. I actually do know exactly what this student is talking about. Basically, run. Your students have a leg up on you because they are already constructing the necessary altars. They are pretending that they are all the same easy-to-digest person that the Purple One prefers. Your time is up. That's all.
Wow. Serious shit to watch out for there.
I like the bit of peaking, the distortion that happens. I think it's so funny.
It creeps in every now and then. That's a fun effect.
I'll never understand why, but you've seen the ear rape memes.
No.
I apologize for my liberal use of the word rape, but ear rape.
I lost a couple of listeners there.
Yeah.
Is that so? Does they just blow out audio?
Yeah. You'll be listening to something, and it'll someone will yell, and it'll just fucking peak in your ear, and just distort. Some reason, once I get over the fact that someone's fucking done that to me, I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I link it. We'll link it in the description. There's a video where it plays the Wii music, the classic Wii theme, and every time there's a dun dun dun, the bass boost increases. And it had me in tears with my friend a couple nights ago, which is ridiculous because it's not even that fucking funny. But
it's a simple bit, but I think it's like a fart joke. Honestly, it's just you can't not find that shit funny because it's just dumb. And definitely, like, the podcast that inspired me to do this podcast with you was bloody, what's it called? That's a bit from it. Dynamic Banter.
Your boy Steve Zaragoza.
Steve Zaragoza loves to just blow his fucking audio out, and it's just fucking ridiculous. But it gets me every time.
I think I've figured out a new formula.
You have to listen if it's blown out.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I don't even know if it's peaking. This might be a good mic.
No, it sounds pretty fucked over here.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
Just a good bit.
Yeah.
It's when you're not expecting it. It's just fucking hilarious, and I don't understand why. But gets me every time. Yeah. Anyway, we're coming to the little end of this bad boy. I'm going to use this chance to just tell y'all what I'm up to, because that's what we used to do, and now I'm going to do it again because for purposes of content. I've got a new cartoon coming out that will be on Patreon, and the Icy Pigeons interviews are coming back in cartoon form on the Icy Pigeons Instagram account. So that's exciting. And I might might also start doing weekly kind of roundup vlog style videos where I just talk about what I'm up to and do some funny bits. And yeah. What are you up to, Giles?
I have just released a weird snake weave drawing. What did you think, Rai?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Like the colors. It's just a nice image to look at.
Some weird, deep unhappiness came out of me once I finished that. Mm-hmm. Some part of me just went, no, it's missing something that my earlier images suggested was going to improve. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I've already started 3 other things that I hope will recapture some of that spirit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I need to go to the toilet so bad, so we might as well, I think we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
This has been Coprolalia.
Number 48. Question mark?
Check out stuff in the box below where I link shit and
we need that Wii music video just before I forget.
Wii music video is in the description below as well. Follow us on Instagram, check out our shit, listen to this podcast if you haven't already. I don't know why you'd skip to the end. Okay, I'm off. Bye.
All right.
Bye.